YouTube. Today we are going to wash up the engine bay using only the finest window cleaner for doing this job. Probably not the best solution, but it's what I got, and I got a hose. I was gonna rent a pressure washer, but turns out they're like 50 bucks for an hour to rent them at this local place that I got near me. And I don't feel like spending that, so I'll just use a little bit of elbow grease and hopefully get this thing cleaned up and ready for paint. It's actually pretty nice out today. It's probably like 45, 50 degrees, so we might be able to get some primer and paint on this thing as well, because I don't know how much longer it's going to be nice like this outside. I got it sprayed down and soaking with some window cleaner. Hopefully it breaks up some of the dirt, and we'll hit it with the hose next. Well, that did virtually nothing. But maybe it softened things up a little bit, and we can wipe a lot of the dirt off now? I don't know. Nope. This shit's like, it's like a sticker when you're trying to peel off the sticker. That's how caked on this shit is. I think a wire brush is going to be my best bet here. That seems to break up a lot of the grit a lot easier than brake cleaner and a rag or a hose and vinegar. That don't work either. Well, I'm sick of scrubbing this thing. Michael's here to save the day. He's got a pressure washer. Huh. I don't know how this thing's doing.
Doesn't have slicks on it anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't have slicks anymore, does it? Well,
Leaking coolant because the hose clamps are stuck.
Are they?
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna take this beast to go get the pressure washer. Thing's doing good or what?
Yeah.
Didn't you like blow a transmission or something?
Yeah. I blew it at the track. And then, I blew this one.
Okay, so the transmission that was in it when we first turboed it, he blew it up at the track. He went to go make a track pass with the slicks, and it like exploded right after the 60 foot. So that tranny is goodbye. Now he's got another transmission in here, and fourth gear's gone.
Yeah, I blew that last week.
Damn. Hunter Tune just makes shit so fast that it just blows transmissions, huh? I have E85 in the car when it's like 30 fucking degrees outside. It doesn't like to cold start. But once they're running, you're good. Everybody says like, oh, you can't run E85 in the winter because you just can't do it. You can't do it. You can do it. It just takes like 2 tries to start your car instead of 1. Once it's going, it's good. Well, it's been a while since you guys have seen the old red Civic rip. But I don't know. I'm thinking Michael, I don't know, he might get into boost a little bit here. This fucking car rips, dude.
Yeah.
It's funny because, yeah, it only goes 14 at the track. Because obviously like transmissions and shit can't take it, but on the street this thing is an animal.
Did you see what I posted on Speed from Wheel Drive? I was like, any way to build a tranny, blah blah blah, upgrade it. And they're like, it's 14.6, you don't need to build your tranny. I'm like, I was jackhammering through second and third.
Right.
They're like, dude, that car, there's no way it's close to 400. I was like,
I don't know, this car probably makes north of 350. It's probably between 350 and 400 horse.
Yeah, that's what I said.
It blows them off in third.
This guy's like, oh, I got this cam, and I got this done, and this done, and this done, and I'll make 534. There's no way you... I was like, okay.
Every setup's different,
and
I guess.
Looked at it, they're like, it's an eBay turbo, it's probably all eBay. I was like, motor's completely built.
least we have a pressure washer now to be able to get most of the dirt off. Blew it right off. Well, I got the bay cleaned up pretty much as good as I could, and I'm gonna probably start masking it now and putting this thing into primer. But first, we gotta let this thing dry off so we're not painting on water, because that wouldn't be good. Out shipping some more stickers. Thanks for the support on the stickers, guys. They've been selling. I've been selling a few of them. Like I said, I really appreciate the support for the Hunter Tune stickers. So I got some of this stuff masked up. Sorry if you can't hear me. The heater is on to kind of get the garage up to a reasonable temperature to be able to paint at. And I got most of it masked off that I'm going to mask, like the brake booster and like the clutch cable and the throttle cable and all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to mask everything just because, like I said, I don't really care. This is a $400 car. I'm not. Realistically, I don't care if I get paint on like the brake lines and stuff like that. I feel like it may help the brake lines if there's an extra coating on them, and they may not rust out as easily. And like the wiring harnesses and stuff like that, I'm just gonna pull them out of the way when I paint those areas. So yeah, we're gonna start to get priming on this thing and see how it turns out. I already started a little bit, just kind of sprayed a section of primer right here just to kind of see how the primer would stick. And this was like one of the shittiest spots I didn't clean at all, and it actually turned out decent so far. So we're gonna get some primer on this thing. I'm just using Rust-Oleum automotive primer. I'm gonna chuck this in front of my heater too before I spray it. It will spray a lot better then. I just burned up 1 can of primer and it did almost the whole engine bay, and I got most of it primed already, so you can see here primer doesn't look too bad, but yeah, so hopefully this thing's gonna turn out pretty decent. Obviously I haven't gotten the whole engine bay yet. I'm still working on it. I gotta get another can of primer and keep going on it. I'm debating on what color I want to paint this thing, but at least we got the primer on it, and I'm gonna let it dry for a little while. Give you one more look at this thing while it's still in primer. Primer don't look too bad, but usually primer doesn't look bad. So yeah, I don't know, we'll see how the paint sticks. I think I'm gonna go to the store now and pick out whatever color I decide to go, and hopefully this thing turns out good and you know, looks better than it did. I mean, I don't think it's going to take much to make it look better than it did, considering this thing was like super dirty and just full of shit that kind of just was an eyesore to look at. So yeah, so we will pick up when we get some paint in this thing. Instead of getting high, we're going to wear some protection now and get this engine bay painted up. I decided to go with a poop brown. Just because this car is kind of a joke anyway. It's, you know, it's a $400 car, and we're kind of just trying to polish a turd right now. So why not just make the engine bay kind of poop brown, and we'll just roll with it. I got a kind of glossy brown, so it might actually look pretty decent. I don't know. We'll find out after we get it kind of sprayed up a little bit. So far so good. It's looking pretty decent actually. Some of you may not like the color, but like I said, this is just kind of a joke car. I feel like I kind of like the brown in a way, so you know, I just went with it. I also didn't really want to go with like a big obnoxious color like green or pink or purple or whatever. I kind of wanted to keep the engine bay kind of dull colored and then have the engine do the talking, if you know what I mean. Like the engine pops a lot more with more of a dull engine bay color, but if you got a super flashy engine bay color, all the interest is in that versus what the actual engine has to offer. And this is Hunter Tuned. We build engines and performance. We don't really do a lot of body work, but from time to time we do. So hopefully you guys enjoy this little section that we're doing here. So I just got done laying a second coat onto the engine bay here, and I laid this coat on a little bit thicker than the first coat, and it's coming out even better every coat. I'm really thinking once the engine's in this thing, it's going to look way better. It's going to look super cool with the brown background to the engine. Alright, so it is the next day now. I let the paint dry overnight, and we're going to hit it with some clear coat now and hopefully bring out the poop even more. This is what it's looking like so far. No clear coat. This is the color that I did use. It's called Gloss Leather Brown. And this is the clear coat that I will be using. Alright, so the engine bay is pretty much done. I put 3 coats of clear coat on it, and that definitely brings out the shine and just kind of makes it look a lot smoother and stuff. It's kind of a way to cheat into making your paint job look good. So if you guys have a shitty looking paint job, just put a bunch of clear coat on it.
These nuts. Got him.
I am not a professional painter by any means. I do this total backyard paint job, so I know that this isn't the proper way to do it. But it looks pretty good. And this is how it looks with the masking tape removed. But that's going to conclude this video. Hopefully you guys enjoy the poop brown CRX engine bay. And thanks for watching, guys.